morning. The Fox 61 Morning News starts now.
Right now at 6 o'clock, expansion moving forward for Tweed New Haven Airport, what the plan entails and reaction ahead.
Jury selection continues in the Alex Jones defamation trial here in Connecticut. What legal issues one of his lawyers is facing.
And another town taking further action to save water, what they're mandating folks in that community to do.
Good morning. Thanks so much for starting off your day, your Thursday with us here at Fox 61 America Areas.
And I'm Keith McGilvery. Good to have you with us. Great to have you back, my friend.
Thanks.
How was your time away?
It was good. Good to be back.
All
kind
right.
of. I mean, I could have done one more day on the water.
On the water. Well, we're going to have more on Erica's adventures. I begged her to let me share meteorologist Matt Scott. She is a daredevil indeed, coming up a little bit later on this morning. Don't want to miss it.
I'm a bit curious about this myself now.
Oh, do you not know what it is?
No, I
Okay,
don't.
good. So the surprise is on you.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, you're rarely surprised.
8 o'clock.
It doesn't take a lot to make me a little flummoxed, so I'm get the flummox capacitator ready. I might be on board for this. Good morning to you. Nice to have you along. It is still a little bit drippy out there. We are seeing the last of the raindrop. They lasted a little longer. We're not complaining about that. Temperatures rebounding back to normal today, getting the August feels back in play by the weekend. There's our lucky 61. Willimantic, Putnam, Chester. 68 is warm in Hartford and New Haven. 66 in Groton. There's the last of the rain. Notice where it's coming in from the north. Northern New England getting some badly needed rain as this same system, this low, rotating a lot of energy through much of Maine, northern New Hampshire, Vermont. By the time we made it down here, a little less. We'll see emerging sunshine today. A couple of clouds in the evening hours, but numbers back up to where they need to be, 84, 85 degrees. Going even higher as we get closer to the weekend. We'll talk about that coming up. Let's talk about the roads right now and the rails and the buses and what am I missing? The planes.
Skies.
Right, exactly. Lauren Zenzi joining us. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Matt. Good morning, everyone. 6:02 here in the CTDOT Traffic Center. Out on the roads, things are looking good. Now that construction has wrapped up in those major areas coming into the capital city, over in Waterbury, things are moving smoothly. Let's take a look at our Hartford drive times right now. 91, 84, Route 2, all moving fine in both directions. We do see a little delay on the eastbound side of I-84 as you're approaching the Hartford Tunnel, but nothing to complain about as of right now. Out in Wethersfield, 91 north and southbound looking good this morning. Out in Waterbury, construction is cleared as you're approaching the Mixmaster. Traffic is moving just fine out there on 84. Down in Fairfield County, we are starting to see those delays start to build between Bridgeport and Fairfield as we take a live look outside. Oh, where is it? I have good news on the rails and the skies. So like I said, it is moving just fine now in Fairfield County. On the rails, all things are looking good. Bus service for the Hartford line is all on time. And at Bradley International Airport, there are no delays. We'll check back in coming up in the next half hour. But guys, I'll send things back over to you. Good morning.
Lauren, good morning to you. Thanks so much. The New Haven Airport Authority is officially moving forward with the expansion of Tweed New Haven Airport.
Indeed, the board of directors voting to sign a new lease. Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc joining us now live from the Elm City with the details. Julia, good morning.
Hi, good morning to you both. Yeah, this is the same company that has been the operator of Tweed New Haven Airport for more than 2 decades. And this new lease that they just signed yesterday has been a dream for airport officials that they are now just one step closer to making a reality and making Tweed more than it once was. As you can see, these Avelo planes behind us here, a recent new addition adding lots of airlines to Tweed New Haven Airport to bring more destinations to Connecticut. Now, what does this new lease mean for the airport? Well, it includes construction of a new modern terminal on the east side of the airport, a runway extension, infrastructure improvements to address traffic and safety concerns, also $5 million coming from the community for noise, traffic, and environmental mitigation. Plus, there will be no more state and city subsidies of the airport. Now, New Haven spends a total of $1.8 million per year. Now, the The agreement also says that Avports will invest at least $100 million to cover the cost of the expansion and other future improvements at the airport. They will manage the airport for 43 years. After that, the new and improved airport will be fully owned by the authority at no cost to them. Now, as we know and as we have been covering for years now, neighbors who live in the area have expressed concerns about the disruption that this expansion will cause to them, with more planes flying overhead and more traffic coming to the city and neighboring cities as well. But New Haven is trying to improve upon that. They've put in a free shuttle service from Union Station to try to help with that problem. Now, as we take a live look here, let's take one last look at that Avelo plane that is getting ready to taxi and take off very soon. You can hear some of that noise probably behind us here now, but the next steps in this process is to make sure to reduce that noise. They're going to be doing an environmental study on the new lease agreement. That is a requirement by the FAA to reduce some of that environmental interruption here to Tweed and to the surrounding Elm City neighborhood. We are live in New Haven this morning. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61 News.
Julia, thanks so much.
All right. Go ahead.
Well, as drought conditions persist, another Connecticut community is calling on residents to cut back on water.
Yeah, this time the town of Putnam's Water Pollution Control Authority is implementing what it's calling a mandatory water ban. So what does that mean? Starting today, watering lawns, gardens, washing cars, and other non-essential uses will not be allowed. Also, the Water Pollution Control Authority will postpone any hydrant flushing until that ban is lifted. Also happening today, Richard Debate expected to appear in court today. Debate found guilty on 3 charges back in May in connection to the killing of his wife, Connie, including murder, making a false statement, and tampering with evidence. The prosecution arguing Debate killed his wife and staged a home invasion. Debate mandated it was a masked intruder who killed his wife and tied him up days before Christmas in 2015. He faces 125 years in prison. Do want to let you know Fox 61 will be covering the sentencing throughout the day and keep you updated on air and online, as well as the Fox 61 News app with any breaking news as it comes into our newsroom.
6:07 right now, defense attorney Norm Pattis is under the microscope. A Connecticut judge hearing testimony on whether Pattis should be disciplined after he was accused of giving fellow attorneys who were also defending Alex Jones highly sensitive documents. Now, those documents reportedly include medical records of relatives of the victims in the Sandy Hook tragedy. Pattis has denied the allegations, and the hearing was continued to next week. Happening today, jury selection is expected to resume for a trial on how much in damages Alex Jones should pay to the families of the victims of the Sandy Hook tragedy. Last November, a state judge found him liable for damages for his repeated claims of Sandy Hook tragedy being a hoax in 2012. The jury and the trial will determine how much Jones must pay the parents of the Sandy Hook victims.
All right, 6:08 now in Southbury, where police are trying to figure out who's responsible for vandalizing a Black Lives Matter mural at the Pomperaug High School. The mural, painted 2 years ago on the walkway between the school and the football field, someone recently erased their message by pouring tar on it. Last week, an administrator reported the vandalism. Students who created the mural are now searching for answers.
The fact that it was vandalized is a message in itself. When we first did the mural, we got a lot of threats from mostly students wanting to vandalize it right after we made it. It was a big controversy.
Fox 61 did reach out to the Regional School District 15 for comment. The superintendent said he could not comment on specifics because it involves a police investigation. Anyone who has information about the vandalism asked to call the Southbury Police. Hamden police looking for a woman who they say robbed the Connects Credit Union on Dixwell Avenue Wednesday afternoon. Authorities releasing surveillance photos. We have them for you here of the suspect. Officers say the woman passed a note to the bank teller demanding money. They left with an undisclosed amount here. No weapon shown and no one was injured. Anyone with information about the situation here should call Hamden police.
Meriden police are investigating a robbery at Liberty Bank on East Main Street. It happened yesterday afternoon. Police say the suspect, you just saw him there, entered the bank and demanded money just before 3 p.m. And then the suspect left with an undisclosed amount of money in a gray vehicle. If you have information related to this incident, please call Meriden Police. And Watertown now, where a fire destroyed a barn. This happening on Linkfield Road yesterday afternoon. No animals were inside when the fire started. No injuries have been reported. And right now we're getting an update on the arson incident at a Hartford playground. A 12 and a 15-year-old are accused of intentionally setting that playscape on Granby Street on fire. Police say both were charged in connection to the fire that broke out on Tuesday. The juveniles allegedly rolled a large truck tire under the playscape and then set that on fire. Police say the fire left the playground unusable, and we're told both juveniles were released to their parents.